بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى والسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وعلم آدم الأسماء كلها ثم عرضهم على الملائكة فقال أنبئوني بأسماء هؤلاء إن كنتم صادقين قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا مولانا محمد وبارك وسلم. Now today's topic is very relevant to the time we're living in, to the last few weeks we've had, and I actually need much longer to speak about it. But I'm going to try to condense whatever I want to say inside 20 minutes, inshallah. You might know, if you have family, if you have friends, over the last 2 weeks, our students have been getting their results. The week before, A-level students had their results. Last week, or yesterday actually, we had GCSE students getting their results. Now this talk is primarily for the students. We'll get to them inshallah. But it's also for the parents. Because we have, within our community, we have two groups of people. One group of people who care a lot about education, and they're pushing their child, educate, learn. And we have another group of parents who are saying, for example, you have a family business, just chill, and it doesn't matter if you do, and there's no pressure, doesn't. So the child, it comes onto the child, and the child doesn't really care as well. The child sits back and he's like, oh, forget it, I'm not going to learn either. So you got one person or one group of people who care, and others who don't really care. We have some people, we know, within our own community, we have people who sit at home, who are able to work, but who want who sit and take benefits, which is haram. We can't take something that others are entitled to. If there was a pot for me, I can take from it, but this pot isn't for me. This pot is for people who are disabled, who can't work, people who are blind, who can't work. I am able to and I can't work. This is crazy. Allah says, "Ibtaghu min fadlillah." After Jum'ah, when Salah finishes, what Allah say? Go into the land, seek from Allah's provisions, go and earn a living. Ibtaghu, Allah says, seek, go out of your way and do it. Allah doesn't say sit back and say, my rosy will come from the skies. It doesn't come from the skies. Look at all of the Anbiya, Jo bhi Anbiya the, all of the Anbiya did work. Adam alayhi salam, in the ayat I recited, Allah says, وَعَلَّمَ آدَمَ الْأَسْمَاءَ كُلَّهَا. Ulama have translated this. The ayat actually means, Allah taught Adam alayhi salam all the names of everything until Qiyamah. So today we have names of companies and names of cars. Adam alayhi salam was taught everything. Names of creatures and creation and everything Adam alayhi salam knew. Ulama say this also means Allah taught Adam alayhi salam all of the knowledge. And then as generations passed, Allah distributed different parts of that knowledge to different people. And this is why insan is greater than the common angel. Because insan has been given ilm. When Allah asked the angels that you now present ilm to me, I taught Adam, now I have taught you, now you tell me what is this knowledge. The angels couldn't speak. The angel said, Subhanaka la ilma lana, Allah, we don't know. We have no ilm. Illa ma allamtana, except that which you teach us. So if we want ilm, who gives us ilm? Allah. And ilm is really beautiful. And if you look at all of Nuh alayhi salam, if I ask you today, go and build a boat, go and build a ship, can you build a ship? You need to have expertise, right? You need to have knowledge. Which means before Nuh alayhi salam built the ship or the boat, he had knowledge. Dawud alayhi salam used to mold metal, like welding. Can I walk into an ironmonger's or can I walk into a furnace and do it myself? I can't. I need to learn it. So these prophets learned. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself was a shepherd, he was a trader, he would go to Syria and he would trade. We had Zakaria alayhi salam. And I say this to the youngsters who want to say, today in our community again, we have a problem because people say plumbing, electrics, carpentry, this is all hands-on jobs. We want office-suited, booted jobs. Zakaria alayhi salam was a carpenter. It's a sunnat. He was a carpenter, and we say, yeah, you were working with wood, what's this? You get dirty every day. This is knowledge. He had this knowledge. So Allah is teaching us to care. It said of one of the Sahaba, Ghaliban Zayd bin Thabit or Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anh, that they learnt 100 languages. Zayd bin Thabit, I think, would learn. He could speak to all of his slaves in different languages. And when Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wanted knowledge of the Jewish Torah, the book of the Jews, he told Zayd bin Thabit, go and learn the book of the Jews, go and learn the language Hebrew, and then tell me what's inside the Torah. And ulama have written, he learned it inside 15 days. A new language inside 15 days. You and I can't finish a module of a single subject in 15 days, and he learned an entire language in 15 days. Knowledge, no, this is a legacy of our ulama. You know, there's a word in English, canon. When I say a canonized book, it means a very important book. You must read it. Canonized book. It means very important book. This word comes from the Arabic word al-qanun. Qanun. Qanun in Urdu, Gujarati also means law, rules, qanun. Al-Qanun is the name of the book written by Ibn Sina, Avicenna. Ibn Sina was a doctor. He wrote a book called Al-Qanun. And for 600 years after he passed away, this book was used to teach medicine in the European universities. Muslim. Ibn Sina. Avicenna, he's known. Look, go through philosophy, go through medicine. Read about Avicenna. And his book, Al-Qanun, was changed to English and made into canon. Because Al-Qanun was necessary for anybody who wanted to become a doctor. So in any subject, any book which is really important, which is vital in that subject, is called a canon book, a canonized book. Because of Ibn Sina. Today we learn, any subject which starts with algebra, alchemy, all these things. You know what al is an Arabic word. It shows it has Arabic origins. Algebra. Muhammad ibn Musa al-Khawarizmi, rahmatullahi alayh, was a Muslim mathematician. And he discovered, or he understood the rules of algebra. And because of this, today we have algebra. And we have the rules which he gave us. Kitab al-Jabr is a book he's written. The name is quite long. We have people like Ibn Rushd, the greatest philosopher, rahmatullahi alayhi, from Spain. Averroes, a Spanish philosopher. Imam Ghazali, rahmatullahi alayhi, a philosopher. We have knowledge within our legacy. We are just negligent. We are ungrateful. Go to Africa, go to India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Burma, and they have to go there and they have to pay for their education. And people who can't afford to pay for their education go unlettered. They can't learn, they can't study. Today we have been given such a great opportunity. Allah has opened up all of the doors for us. Forget different countries. When I was up north, right, I went to study in Darul Uloom. When I started, I went to do maths A-levels. So they asked us which schools we went to. And they said, write down the full names of your school. So I went to Tommy's, so I wrote Sir Thomas Richards Grammar School. And the people up north thought, oh, I must be very, very wealthy. And I didn't understand this. I said, no, I'm not wealthy. Why did you assume I was wealthy? Why did you think I was wealthy? And they said, oh, up north we pay 10, 15,000, no, not 10, about 15 to 25,000 pounds a year for grammar schools. I said, what? And they said, that means for 5 years of grammar school, from year 7 to year 11, and if you count 2 years for A-levels, for 7 years of grammar school, your parents would have to be about 150,000 pounds. That's why we think you're rich. I said, you're crazy. Where I live, everything's for free. So don't go to different countries. Look in our own country. We have been given such an amazing opportunity for free education. Our people are just, we're so negligent. People are wondering that, you know what, why are Muslims at the bottom of the pile? I was listening to a khutbah by Shaykh Yusuf al-Qardawi, rahmatullah, damat barakatuh. And he's an Arab, an Egyptian. He was head of Azhar. He was lamenting the Muslim nations, and he was saying, look, what's happened to us? He said, we used to be a country who used to produce things for other people. Now we just buy things. Now we just buy things, and Muslims, we are the same. We should be at the forefront of business. We should be at the forefront of everything. In a hadith, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَتَبَ الْإِحْسَانَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ. Allah loves perfection and excellence in everything. Allah wants perfection in everything. If you want to be a doctor, be the best doctor. You want to be an accountant, be the best accountant. You want to be anything, be the best at what you do. This is what Allah wants. And this whole bridge, obviously we know, Dini ulum is very important. And then we have a third category. We have one category of people who came later, of people who don't care. We have another category of people who care, but they care only about the dunya and no focus on the deen. I want to send my child to Oxford, Cambridge. Bismillah, send him. But make sure he knows how to do wudu first. Make sure he knows how to do ghusl. Make sure he knows the basics of deen, the 5 pillars of Islam. Make sure he knows that when I enter this business or when I go to work in this place, can I work in a bank? Let him know this. Can I do simple jobs? Can I work in a place selling alcohol, for example? He needs to know this. If I want to go into business, but I don't know the rules of business, then it's wasted. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala, in his time, he used to go through the marketplace and he used to test their people on their education of buying and selling. And if you didn't know the rules of buying and selling, go back into the masjid and learn. Why are you buying and selling without knowing the rulings, the fiqh of buying and selling? The people today who have businesses, how many of us have studied the fiqh, the rules of buying and selling? Do we know? If somebody came to you and said, can I sell this, can I do this, is this halal, is this haram? Can I say, yes, actually I've studied it, I know the ruling? This was a condition to trade in the marketplace of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu ta'ala. Wallahi, Muslims, we need to wake up. So now the third category of people are only focused on dini education. And then you have people like me, where parents, Allah reward them. Parents send them to madrasa, go to madrasa. And I was quite fortunate because I did well in school. So parents said, okay, go to madrasa and do that. But do you know what happens most of the time? If a child is at the top of his class and he can go into medicine, he goes into medicine. Or he goes into engineering. Or he goes into accounting. He does a, suit boot job. And then when he falls below 60%, 50%, he fails a couple of GCSEs, parents usually say, either there's a family business, or there's madrasa. If you're not going to be in a family business, you go to madrasa. So now the madrasas are full of students who have failed their GCSEs. Now what do you expect? You have many ulama who will come out and who will learn and who have done their GCSEs and A-levels, great, fantastic, mashallah. But we should put Islamic education before any other education. Let me put Islam at the forefront of my child's mind. I'll give you a simple example. I am paying tuition fees. I do maths tuition, okay? So I receive 10 or 15 pounds per session of maths tuition. Okay, for 1 hour. I also teach madrasa. I charge 50 baht. The masjid charges 15 pounds for 1 month. For how much? 1 month of madrasa. And for maths, charging 15 pounds per hour. What does a child think when he knows this? The child brings 15 pounds to maths and the same child brings 15 pounds to the madrasa. Where is the importance? In maths. Right? Because this is how we've trained our children. If you go through a child's library at home, it's a big group of children will read today. They're going to sit on YouTube, watch videos, watch YouTubers, watch vlogs, play FIFA, and worse than playing FIFA is watching other people play FIFA on YouTube, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Our children will read anymore. If you go home to your child's library, if your child has a library, okay, how many books of school will you have? You'll have textbooks from year 7 to year 11, A-levels, you'll have university if they've been. You'll have stacks of books. Now count the number of books your child has about deen. You'd be lucky to have a Quran, a Ta'lim al-Haq, Ta'lim al-Islam, maybe for the Urdu speaking, maybe a Besti Zawar for those who speak Urdu, maybe translated into English, 4 or 5 books of deen. And dozens of books of... So, the child's importance, where's his mind going now? What is important? What is important? The worldly education. So there's a really big balance here we need to find. Excel in everything, be brilliant, and you can be brilliant in everything. We have children in my madrasa who left madrasa 4 months before GCSE started to focus on their school education. Bismillah, you focus on GCSEs, no problem. But I always tell the parents, make sure your child recites at home, prays his Quran at home, does something at home so he doesn't forget. I called the child in after a couple of months. He actually came, we had a class party. He came and I said, how many times have you opened the book in the last 2 months? 0 times. So we've sacrificed our child's Islam so he can succeed, he can pass his GCSEs. He might pass his GCSEs today. What's going to happen in the grave tomorrow? That's what matters. I had somebody come yesterday and they started crying because they didn't do well in their GCSEs. I said, what are you crying about? You tried hard, effort is what counts. You tried hard. If you wasted your time and you didn't take this opportunity, yes, you deserve to cry. But you tried hard, you tried your best. Don't cry. There's a beautiful hadith. عَجَبًا لِأَمْرِ الْمُؤْمِنِ إِنَّ أَمْرَهُ كُلَّهُ لَهُ خَيْرٌ وَلَيْسَ هَذَا إِلَّا لِلْمُؤْمِنِ إِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ ضَرَّاءَ فَصَبَرَ كَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ وَإِنْ أَصَابَتْهُ سَرَّاءَ فَشَكَّرَ فَكَانَ خَيْرًا لَهُ. What a beautiful hadith. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is giving us the perfect balance and the perfect attitude and response to any condition. He says, how amazing is the matter and the affair of the mu'min and the believer. And this is only for the mu'min. If something bad happens and he is patient, Allah will reward him. If he does well and he is grateful, Allah will reward him. So children yesterday were in 2 categories. Either I was disappointed, you do sabr, Allah will reward you. And parents, take it easy. If you know your children tried, take it easy. Yes, children should excel, but effort is what counts. Make your child try their best. 100%. And if you did well, instead of becoming arrogant about it, because life has just started at 16, be grateful. Allah, you gave me this opportunity. I'm going to use whatever I have for the deen. And this is really important. And this is the balance between. I said I've created a balance between Islamic education and between what we call secular, quote unquote, education. This whole secular education, this whole split was not made by Islam. Look at Qarawiyyin University. If you go to Fez in Morocco, Qarawiyyin University was the first university of its kind in the world. And it was set up amazingly by who? 2 Muslim women, Miriam and Fatima al-Fahriya. 2 Muslim women set up the world's first university. Think about this. Look at where our legacy was. Muslim women were opening universities. And in that university, they taught not just sciences, they didn't teach chemistry, and they didn't teach algebra and maths. They taught deen and they taught dunya. So these educations or these subjects were never split. Today, either I go to a madrasa or I go to a university. We should be doing both. Or at least if I can't go fully to madrasa, at least I learn enough about deen that I can stand on my own 2 feet. And then go to university, bismillah. Get involved in the work of tabligh, the work of da'wah. So you maintain your faith, you hold fast to your faith. It's very important. And our children, I'm going to tell you, and parents, I'm going to tell you where the balancing act lies. This is where the balance is. If your child is very, very gifted, if your child is very smart, the best thing you can do for your own dunya and your own akhirat is dedicate him to the deen. Because he will benefit not only himself and your family, he will benefit the entire community. He will benefit the entire community. And that means your Jannat is made, inshaAllah. Because you gave your child to Allah. Look at what Imran alayhi salam did. Who did he give to Allah? Maryam alayhi salam. He gave her to Allah. From Maryam we had Isa alayhi salam, a prophet. If your child is bright, Islamic education should be at the forefront. And with that, fine, university, etc. is perfect, great, go. I'm studying a degree right now. I'm doing a counseling course, etc. I'm studying psychology, it's fine, you can do it, it's no problem. But Islam should be at the forefront of our minds. And if my child has studied in basic, elementary, maktab, madrasa till they're 15, this is a problem as well. We take our children out when we're 11 and they don't even know how to pray Quran properly. And we think they know everything. Right? It's a great frustration because I teach in a school and I teach in a madrasa. And I can see the difference between two and the importance parents give to both. We have some children, mashallah, whose parents have said, you won't leave madrasa until you know everything you need to know. And there's other parents who just say, actually, you know what, you're 10, 11, 12, 13, too much homework, leave madrasa. And the child doesn't know anything. The child doesn't know anything. So I'll tell you where the balance is. If my child wants to go to university and not study maktab to a higher level, the balance is here. Study a subject or go into a profession in which you will give izzat to your family, you will earn a halal income, and you will benefit the community. Give respect and honor to your family, earn a halal income so Allah is pleased and every penny you earn is charity for your family. And number 3, you benefit the community. This is the most important thing. It's easy going into, now you have to be really smart for this anyway, right? And I didn't go into it for a reason. To do IT, accounting, things like that, great, fine, do it. But the benefit of doing IT and accounting, etc. is for yourself. When I do politics, when I do journalism, when I study medicine, when I study law, when I'm doing these subjects, it's not for me. It's for the community I live in. So we should encourage, obviously, if my child's expertise isn't in that, then you leave it. But if my child has a potential to do it, like teaching, for example, then I should push him to do something where he can not only benefit himself, but also benefit the community. And this is the balance. This is how your dunyawi education becomes deeni. Because you've made your dunya deen. And the worst thing is when you have deen and you make your deen into dunya, this person is the most corrupt. And the best person is the one who has made his dunya and he's brought his deen inside. And now he's made his dunya into deen. And he uses his expertise in dunya to further the cause of the deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us all an understanding of the deen. Make us experts and professionals in whatever we do. Grant us excellence in everything we do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our shortcomings except our sitting here. I just did an introduction today. We'll finish it in 2 weeks' time, inshaAllah. Ameen wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alameen. Subhanallah bihamdihi subhanakum.